So when's the best time to go to college for your automotive training? I'll say the short answer is when an employer offers to sign you up for apprenticeship. That's really the best time. And the why is that the best time? Basically, if somebody offers you apprenticeship, usually you're working at the shop for the employer. It's been about a year or two, so it's easier for you to pay off your student loans or your tuition, and you're working right now. You're working at that time, so you got a job. So that's A. And when we're talking about you've been working at this shop for a year or two, we're talking about either you've been in an independent shop like this one, or something like this, or a dealership for at least a year or two before they offer you apprenticeship. Not lube shops, because it's pretty much 0% chance anyone does apprenticeship in those lube shops. Right, so yeah, and B is because if you're working for the employer, then they're most likely willing to pay for your tuition, at least for some semesters or terms. So that's a pretty good deal. That's the best time to go. And C is if they're not willing to pay for you, well, you pretty much work for the employer anyways, so you can easily pay off your tuition, because you're only going to be in school, like in Alberta, only for 2 months every year. And so why is apprenticeship important? Well, because in Canada and most of the provinces, if you want to become a journeyman and open up your own shop, you have to be a licensed mechanic, meaning you have to be a journeyman. And in order to be a journeyman, you had to have completed, your apprenticeship program, right? And it's in most provinces in Canada, that's the case. You have to have your journeyman in order to open up a shop legally. And I guess some other provinces like Yukon and the Northwest and some other ones they don't require journeyman, but or your apprenticeship, but I'm guessing it's going to be more difficult to open a shop when insurance companies want to see, liability insurance companies want to see credentials, and so that they know you know what you're doing, so they're not going to lose a whole bunch of money, because you end up costing them like tens of thousands of dollars in damages whatsoever. It's probably better to get your apprenticeship done. Either way, same thing with states. I guess from the ATI, Advanced Technology Institute, they mention as well that you don't need to be certified to be a mechanic, but you're gonna have trouble opening up a shop and getting liability coverage insurance for your business if you have no credentials. So that's really the main plus for apprenticeship, pretty much North America wide. So we just touched on what's the best way, but what is the good way? What is a good time to go to college? Not the best, but a good time to go. Then you have to take another second route to go to college, community college preferably, or something like here, like Nate's pre-employment program, where it's cheaper. It's cheaper, and it's like takes only 4 months to complete, and so you're not paying the high tuition costs. You're in for only 4 months, and you're not, and you're only out of work for only 4 months, so you have time to recover, and it gives you everything you need, if you pass with the certificate, just to show employers that there's independent shops and dealerships, and that way you get a higher chance. You get a higher chance, to get in, and then you can start working there for a year or two. And if they like how you work, chances are they want to keep you around. And then that's a little extra route you gotta take if you there, but it's not impossible to start from a lube shop and work there for maybe 1 or 2 years, and then apply to work at an independent shop or a dealership. So when's an ugly time to go to college for automotive training? I would say the worst time to go is if you're taking a 2-year program. Anything that's more than 6 months, 6 months is pushing it, but they usually offer it in a year or 2 years, 3 years. That's the worst time to go to college, because they're gonna rack you up the bills with like 30, 40, 50 grand almost worth of tuition, and you gotta and you're in there for a long time, and not for like 4 months where you're in and out, and you got your boots running. Once you're out, you're there, you're stuck, you ain't earning income for 2-3 years or whatever, right? And bills are piling up, so that's the worst time. And then you come out with a freaking like a hangover, right? Like you got like 40 grand or whatever looming over you, and so that's the worst time. Yeah, and sure, colleges offer scholarships and grants and all that, which is all good and fine, but it's all fine and dandy, but these scholarships, they say, oh, we got 6 million, 15 million scholarships, right? That's like, yeah, I mean, you can get your hands on some of them. Usually they're like $1 grand, $2 grand, most of them. So very few of them are like, $15,000 scholarships, $10,000. Very few of them, and you gotta be like straight A student and like been in a Boys and Girls Scout cookie club, right? All that nonsense, whatever. But yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta have like everything, all your ducks in a row to get those scholarships, and they got only like 1 or 2 of those, per like maybe like 4, 5 max, pushing it for the field you're in. Those kinds. With the rest of the scholarships are pretty much like $1 grand, $2 grand, and you're going for those 3-year, 2-year programs, so what? You know, you land 1 or 2 scholarships, $4,000, maybe $5,000 all together to pay for your tuition. Because once it's all said and done, your tuition is like $30,000, $40,000, and you got like $5,000 shaved off of it, and now you got a huge student loan. And other people are way ahead of you who took like community college or just started off just fixing their own cars and getting into the shops. Right, you're way behind, and you just pretty much got screwed over. So that's the thing, is I would probably, damn, Spurs, they better not poop on me. Yeah. Then also you're competing with the rest of the schoolmates you attend school with, you know. So there's gonna be like maybe 200 of you, you know, all fighting for that 1 or 2 scholarships. That's like $10,000, you know, and you gotta compete against straight A students. Like, come on. There's most people who are in the trades aren't straight A students, like 90% of them. So something to think about when these colleges throw, you know, offer scholarships and grants around, because they don't tell you that it's like only like 1 or 2% of people get those, which means you're just taking a gamble, you know, wasting 4 years, 3 years of your life to walk out with freaking high interest rate debt, and everyone else is ahead of you. Not really worth it. Alright, so those are that's the best, the good, and the ugly time to go to college. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. This is Automotive for Beginners, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.